Okay, so picture this. It's a Tuesday morning. You're on your bike.
Right.
Maybe you're commuting. Maybe just getting some cardio in. The wind's in your hair. You're in the bike lane, feeling pretty good, pretty safe. And then, bam, brake lights.
Yes. The massive white delivery van.
The massive white delivery van parked dead center in your lane. Hazards blinking. Drivers nowhere to be seen.
It's the classic urban obstacle course. And you've got, what, two bad choices?
Two terrible choices. You either slam on the brakes and wait, or you swerve out into moving traffic to get around him.
And that swerve that's the moment your heart rate just skyrockets.
Totally, because you're playing chicken with a 2-ton call that's coming up right behind you. It's frustrating, it's dangerous, and, it happens constantly.
It does. But if you happen to be in Santa Monica, California, that delivery van might be about to meet its match.
It might indeed. Santa Monica is kind of ground zero right now for a really interesting and maybe a little controversial experiment in city management.
We're talking about AI.
We are talking about deploying artificial intelligence to automate parking enforcement, specifically to hunt down vehicles blocking bike lanes.
And before you groan and think, great, another robot writing tickets, you have to understand this is a little different.
It's a huge shift. This isn't just a meter maid with a better algorithm. This is changing how a city literally sees its own streets.
That's the key. We're going from a reactive model where an officer has to stumble upon a violation to a model of persistent automated observation. They're essentially digitizing the curb.
So here's the setup. Santa Monica, it's a beach town, sun, surf, the pier. But this spring, April 2026, they're rolling out something that feels a little anise. RoboCop.
A little bit, yeah.
They're becoming the first city in the U.S. to mount this specific kind of AI scanning tech on their municipal parking enforcement vehicles.
And that first is really the thing to focus on here. Well, we've seen cameras on buses before. New York has them. D.C. has them. But putting them on the parking enforcement cars, the fleet that roams the whole grid, that's the game changer.
Okay, and we're definitely going to get into why the car versus bus thing is so important. But first, let's get under the hood of the tech itself. The company is a startup, right?
Yeah, a San Francisco-based company called Hayden AI. And they call this system a mobile perception platform.
Which, I gotta be honest, sounds like some serious marketing jargon for a really fancy camera.
It's a little jargony, I'll give you that. Yeah. But the distinction is real. If you just strap a GoPro to your car, you just have a recording.
Right, hours of footage.
Exactly, that some poor human has to sift through. Yeah. A perception platform means the computer's doing the watching and, more importantly, the understanding in real time.
Okay, so walk me through that. How does a computer understand a street? How does it know the difference between an illegally parked car and, a car stopped at a red light?
That's the really hard part. It all starts with what they call a learning phase. Before these cars can flag a single violation, they have to map the city. They drive every street in Santa Monica to create a digital twin of the whole environment.
A digital twin. So like a 3D video game map of the city.
That's a great way to put it. The system needs to learn the permanent geography. This is the curb, this is a painted lane marking, this strip of asphalt right here, that's a bike lane.
So it anchors all the rules to the physical locations on the map.
Correct. It builds a baseline of what the street should look like.
And once it has that baseline,
it just looks for anomalies. When the enforcement car is driving around, the AI is comparing what it sees to that internal map. If it sees a big metal object occupying a space that's defined as bike lane, it flags it.
Okay, so let's play this out. I'm a parking officer in Santa Monica. I'm driving one of the 7 cars with this system.
Yep.
Am I doing anything? Do I have a joystick or a big red button to push when I see someone parked illegally?
Nope. And that's the whole efficiency argument. The driver just drives. They focus on the road. The Hayden AI system is just running in the background, constantly scanning. It's like a silent partner.
That feels, it's incredibly efficient, but also a little eerie. It's just harvesting violations as you drive past.
It is. If the system detects a car in a bike lane, it automatically triggers a capture. It records a 10-second video clip and snaps a high-res photo of the license plate.
Why the video? Why not just a picture?
Context. A single photo can be misleading, right? maybe you were just inching forward in traffic.
I see.
A 10-second video proves the vehicle was stationary, that it was obstructing the lane. It establishes the act of being illegally parked.
Okay, but here's my skeptic hat coming on. Computers glitch. They misread things. What if I swerve into the bike lane for 2 seconds to avoid a pothole? Does the robot just automatically mail me a ticket?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a total nightmare.
And that's the number one fear with automated enforcement, right? The algorithm judged me, but that's not actually how this works.
It's not.
No. Hayden AI collects the data, but it does not issue the ticket.
So who does?
A person, a human being. The system compiles what they call an evidence package, the video, the plate photo, location, timestamp, all of it.
Okay.
And that package gets sent to the police department. A sworn officer has to sit down, review the evidence, and verify that a violation actually happened under state law.
So the human is the final check.
Yeah,
The fail-safe.
exactly. If the officer sees you or just swerving to avoid something, they just hit reject. No ticket. The AI is just the bird dog. The human is still the one who decides.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better. What about privacy, though? You have 7 cars driving around recording video all day. That sounds like a surveillance dragnet.
It's a critical point, but the way the system is designed, at least from what we've seen, is that it's a violation hunter, not a general surveillance camera.
What's the difference?
Data retention. If the system scans a street and sees no violations, just cars parked legally, people walking around, it captures and saves nothing. The buffer is deleted. It effectively forgets what it just saw.
So if I'm not breaking the law, I'm invisible to it.
In theory, yes. It's not building a database of this person's car was on 4th Street at 2 p.m. It's only building a database of this license plate was blocking a bike lane at 2 p.m.
Okay, that's a pretty big distinction. It limits the whole Big Brother scope. But let's get to the why. Why is Santa Monica even doing this? Is blocking bike lanes really that big of a crisis?
Well, the scale of the problem is actually shocking when you see the data. There was a case study late last year at the University of California, San Diego, UCSD.
College campus. Okay, what'd they find?
They ran a pilot program with this tech for just 59 days, so less than 2 months. In that time, the system detected over 1,100 parking violations.
Wait, 1,100. In under 2 months.
1,100. It averages out to almost 20 violations every single day, just in the areas they were scanning.
That's an insane volume.
It's relentless. And here's the real kicker. 88% of those violations were specifically for blocking a bike lane.
88%. Wow. So it's not people forgetting to feed the meter. It's people physically putting their cars in the path of cyclists.
Precisely. And that really gets to the core of the problem. It's not that drivers have suddenly become more malicious. It's that our use of the curb has fundamentally changed.
You're talking about the delivery economy.
The delivery economy, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Amazon, FedEx. Think about how many vehicles need to stop for just a minute or two. The curb used to be for long-term parking. Now it's a constant loading zone.
But cities never built enough loading zones. So drivers go to the path of least resistance.
Which is often the bike lane. It's that I'll just be a minute mentality.
Right. I'm just dropping this off. I'll be gone in 30 seconds.
But when you have thousands of drivers all thinking that same thought, the bike lane becomes permanently unusable.
And 1,100 violations in 59 days proves that a human officer on patrol just can't possibly keep up with that.
It's a game of whack-a-mole. By the time they write one ticket, 3 more trucks have come and gone. The AI is what provides the scale to actually enforce the rule.
So for the city, it's about control. But for the cyclist, it's not about curb management. It's about safety.
It is a safety issue, pure and simple, and not just for cyclists. We need to talk about buses, too.
Right, because Hayden AI has these cameras on buses in a lot of cities. Oakland, Sacramento, New York.
Charlie Torito, who's the chief growth officer at Hayden AI, he points out that blocked lanes are a major cause of bus collisions. Think about a city bus. It's huge. It doesn't handle well.
It's a land yacht.
It's a land yacht. So imagine that bus is in its dedicated lane. Suddenly, there's a car parked in it. The bus driver has to slow to a crawl, signal, wait for a gap in traffic,
And then merge this giant vehicle out into a lane of speeding cars.
and then merge back in after it passes. Each one of those maneuvers is a massive friction point. It's a chance for a sideswipe or a rear-end collision.
Torito's point is that if you just keep the lane clear, the bus drives straight. And if the bus drives straight,
Fewer accidents. And it moves faster. The whole transit network becomes more reliable. So it's a win for safety and a win for speed.
okay, so the buses are already doing this. You mentioned they have, what, like 2,000 systems on buses worldwide. So why is Santa Monica putting them on cars such a big deal? Why is that the headline?
It's all about the map. It's about the gap.
The gap.
Think about a bus route. It's a fixed track. It goes down Main Street, turns on 4th, loops back on Ocean. It sees the same few miles of road all day.
Right. So if I park my delivery truck on a side street that the number 7 bus never goes down, I'm safe.
Exactly. You're invisible. Bus cameras are great for bus lanes, but they leave huge holes in the rest of the city.
But the parking enforcement cars, they're roamers.
They're roamers. They can go anywhere. Residential streets, school zones, alleys, they close the net.
So there's nowhere to hide.
Pretty much. If there is a bike lane anywhere in the city, a patrol car is going to drive past it eventually. It creates a deterrent that a fixed bus route just can't.
That phrase, nowhere to hide, is where I think some people get a little twitchy. But what's the community reaction been like in Santa Monica? Because normally you hear robot enforcement and people grab their pitchforks.
Well, not from the people who are actually in danger. Ars Technica interviewed Cynthia Rose. She's the director of a local bike advocacy group called Santa Monica Spoke.
What was her take? Is she pro-robot?
She's pro-survival. She called the technology an extended arm of the city. She knows the police can't be everywhere at once, so she sees the AI as a tool to help the city do its job of keeping people safe.
That makes sense. If you feel like the laws on the books aren't being enforced, you might actually welcome the robot if it means the lane stays clear.
She made this really powerful analogy. She said that blocking a bike lane should be seen as tantamount to parking in handicapped zones.
Wow. Okay, that's a strong comparison.
It is, isn't it? But think about it. The blue paint, the wheelchair symbol. There's a huge social taboo around parking there. Most people just don't do it.
Right, you'd feel the shame of the entire parking lot staring at you.
But that same driver will park in a bike lane without a second thought. Her argument is that we need to see that bike lane with the same reverence. It's not just extra pavement. It's critical infrastructure for a vulnerable person.
You're forcing a kid or a grandmother or a commuter out into lethal traffic.
It should just be a flat no.
And the AI is the tool to enforce that flat no. Because without enforcement, it's more like a soft maybe.
Exactly. A law without enforcement is just a suggestion.
Did she have any reservations about it? I mean, about the data collection aspect.
She's a realist. She said she's generally wary of bulk data collection, doesn't love cameras everywhere. But in this case, the safety trade-off is worth it. For cyclists, the abstract fear of data collection is a lot less scary than the concrete fear of an SUV's bumper.
It's a calculation we're all making more and more. Trading a little privacy for convenience, or in this case, for physical safety.
That's right.
So let's wrap this up. Santa Monica is taking the lead. They're equipping their fleet, mapping the streets, and using AI to hunt down lane blockers, all because the old way just can't keep up.
That's the summary. It's a tech solution to a behavior problem that was really caused by an infrastructure problem.
But I want to leave our listeners with one last thought to chew on. Today, we focused on bike lanes. And if you're a cyclist, you're probably cheering right now.
I can imagine.
But think about the technology itself. We have a car that drives around, scans the world, understands the rules, and flags violations. Right now, it's just trained to look for car in bike lane.
But software can be updated?
Very easily. Once these cars are roaming 24/7, how hard would it be to teach the AI to look for, I don't know, expired registration tags?
Trivial. The camera sees it.
What about a lawn that's being watered on the wrong day during a drought? Or jaywalking?
Yeah.
Or littering?
Technically,
Yeah.
it's all possible. It's just a question of what we tell the AI to care about.
And that's the slippery slope, isn't it? If the government has a tool that can see every minor violation, does that mean we're entering an era where we have to follow every rule all the time?
We could be moving toward a world of zero tolerance by default, just because the machine doesn't get tired and it never looks the other way.
So the era of the unobserved infraction might just be coming to an end. And whether that makes you feel safer or more anxious, well, that probably depends on how you park your car.
I'll be double-checking the curb a lot more carefully from now
I
on.
think we all will. Thanks for diving in with us on this.
My pleasure.
We'll see you on the next deep dive. Stay safe out there.
Virtual's me.